Hello friends, it's Isabel here. Welcome back, or welcome if you're joining me for the first time. Today I'm going to do an opening and walkthrough of something a little bit different. This is a Kickstarter that came in a few days ago, and it's actually going to be some playing cards that I ordered. So me being me, I sort of get drawn in all sorts of directions and started getting intrigued by using playing cards. I've always been sort of number based. I've played things like solitaire loads when I was younger, so it was sort of something I'd become intrigued by. And this Kickstarter came up at a time when I was really absorbed in sort of the likes of the Druidcraft Tarot. I was having a bit of a going back to my kind of Glastonbury phase, Druidry type phase a few months ago. And it was a really drew me in kind of deck on Kickstarter, and was actually very good value. So I backed it. And to be perfectly honest, I actually forgot about it for ages. There wasn't a lot of communication through the process. Some of the Kickstarters, they communicate regularly every week or every couple of weeks. These guys weren't communicating very often, but they're from, I think they came across from Hong Kong, and they'd had some issues, particularly due to COVID. But anyway, it did arrive, and it's here. So I'm going to show this. Now, it's not going to be a full unboxing. As you can see, I've already taken it out. I have some comments. I've actually got some comments about the packaging, which are not as positive to a certain extent. I'm not going to be down on it, and this is entirely my own opinions and my reaction to what's come to me. But please, you know, you have to make your own judgments about this. So I'm just going to put this to one side and show you. So with the Kickstarter, a couple of extra little bits came. I think, if I remember, these were stretch goals. I haven't actually taken them out of the packet yet. Just by the way, apologies if you can hear a bleeping in the background. Our house alarm has decided to play up, and at the moment I haven't managed to work out how to turn the bleeping off. I may well go and smash it with a hammer in a few minutes. No, only joking. So this has come with the most gorgeous little enamel pin badge. So again, I haven't taken it out of the pouch yet, but I'm just going to see if I can, without a glare, show you. So it's like a tree, and it's got stars, and then it's got a full moon and a crescent moon on. That's really pretty. I've got some lovely little enamel badges now from some of my decks, so I need to find somewhere to display them, because they really are quite pretty. I do love pin badges. I actually have quite a few already, you know, historically. It's also come with this kind of holographic sticker, so this design. So this playing card deck, I should have said, is called the Cernunnos Forest. So the reason I was drawn in is all around sort of kind of the Druidry side of things. You know, when you do the sniff test, sniff on stickers. So this beautiful silver stag sticker, and then there's a lovely little bag here. Now this bag, it's a beautiful feel. It's like slightly velvet, and this says on it, "The forest is whispering," which is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And this will take potentially one of the decks, and I do say decks because what you will see in a minute is that I succumbed to two. This cloth is not behaving, apologies. So that's a few of the little extras, and then you get this beautiful box. So as I say, this is the Cernunnos Forest, and it is actually playing card decks. This beautiful cube, it's got the stags on here and the deer, and it's got this phrase, "The forest is whispering," and it's just so beautiful. And it just, all these little symbols, if I hold it right up, they absolutely cry out and call out to me in terms of like Celtic influence and stuff, and the animals, and absolutely beautiful. Now the interesting thing is what they've chosen to do. So this was a step up, so you could get one of the decks, you could get both, and this is the cube collector box. So this had, there were two different decks that came, a Starry Night version and a day version that they were producing, which and then so the collector's box you get both of the decks and a couple of other bits. And they were really, I rarely go for one of the higher levels because they're quite often quite expensive, but in this case it wasn't an expensive option. So it's come with this beautiful box, and it's this beautiful green. Now what's interesting is they've chosen to put this card wrapper on. Now the only thing I would say is that it's very annoying to take the card wrapper on and off all the time, and I absolutely love the stuff on the card wrapper. So to a certain extent, I actually would have really liked it if what's on this wrapper was actually on the box itself. It's embossed, it's got, you know, it's actually, you can see it's kind of, it's really beautiful, but they've chosen to have the box as quite plain. So the box has got a little symbol on each side, it's got a website on the bottom. It's a beautiful, beautiful box. This box is really nice. It's a nice feel, but I do feel like they've missed a trick because this paper cardboard is really irritating to use to get in and out. So anyway, so then you get the box and the box itself. So at this level, you get a little booklet. You get this, which is like a mat. Now I thought this was a material mat, but it isn't. It's like, you know, a glossy paper. And then you had the decks. Now, one of the decks I've already taken out because I wanted to show you the different phases of the opening. Cernunnos is watching you. The chosen one will hear the whisper of Cernunnos underneath. And then you've got like this medallion. Now, I haven't actually had the medallion out yet, partly because I can't get the Drata thing out of the box. So, but this medallion has got on it... actually what it's got is different animals around the edge. So I need to read more about, you know, what I can do with this. Like, I just realised you can't see. I think you can see that there now. It's really pretty. Now underneath is where the booklets were initially, and this is where the two decks were. So it's a beautiful, beautiful box. A lovely storage. Now here's where what I'm going to do is show you how these were wrapped, and then I'm going to break away and open this one. So both of the decks, you will now see I've got the two decks here, and at this stage I've opened one and not the other one. Absolutely gorgeous decks. So you've got the Cernunnos Day Fairy and the Cernunnos Starry Night. So I chose this option so I could get both sets of cards. Now what they've basically done is got the decks in very similar boxes. Oh, sorry, hang on. I'm throwing cards everywhere. So they both come in these boxes, and what I will show you in a minute is that this is wrapped in plastic, then it has a cardboard sleeve. Then you get to the box, so you get rid of the cardboard sleeve. Then you get to the box itself, and the box has this sticker seal. Now what's interesting is this beautiful sticker seal actually comes off really easily, so I've got no ripping, no tearing. I now don't know what to do because I adore the sticker and I still want it on the box, but obviously I need the box to open and close. The boxes themselves, which I'll come back to in a minute, are beautiful. They're a tuck box with a fold here, but it was really hard to get it open to start with. But my slight criticism is that having got through the cellophane, the outer wrapper, the sticker, got into the box itself, then there was another cellophane wrapping around the cards, which was a shame really, because I don't think it needs that much plastic. And it was beautifully packed when it arrived. It was in a box, but it had more cellophane, so it's kept it really safe. It's not got bashed up or anything, but there just seems to be too many layers to get in, so it took me a while to get in. So I just wanted to show you that with a closed deck, to say that it's just interesting. There just feels like there's too many layers of packaging around the decks themselves, because, you know, I've gone through a box with a plastic bag into the cube itself, and then had to go through several layers to get there. But anyway, that's just something I found with the packaging. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause for a moment. I'm going to get the other package open, and then we can have a really good look at the things that have come in this set. Right, here we go then. So yeah, so we've got this mat. This, as I, you know, like I think it's designed to be, you know, like a plain mat, or a mat like an altar cloth really. It is a kind of glossy paper as opposed to material, which just means it's sort of, my concern is it's going to be slightly prone with the creasing to perhaps getting damaged. But it's really lovely, it's really pretty. So we've got that. Then this collector's edition came with this book. So the book here is the Book of Cernunnos, Guide of Soul. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that. I apologise if the lighting's a bit glary. I'm not sure I've got it quite right today. So day or night, listen to what Cernunnos says. So it talks here about, are you a day fairy or night fairy? Match your fairy sign with birth date. The Whisper of Forest will guide you to reveal who you are. So what's interesting is actually that they've, for each of the animals involved, they've got like these animals and then link them to birth signs. So my birthday is at the end of August. So mine is here. Mine is fish or salmon. And the day fairy is a Noah fish. And the night fairy is an achievement giver, salmon. So the idea is that you find yours and you see which one you're more likely to be. The only thing is some of these pages have got slightly misprinted, unfortunately, but that's not a huge issue. So yeah, so I suppose it's about seeing which one you are. I'm not sure yet if that serves a purpose for me, unfortunately. But then at the end it's got some information here about the different cards, and it's got like a little kind of almost a keyword. So for example, the Ace of Spades is Tree of Life, which if you've got acquisition is growth, struggle is wisdom. And I think that that relates to the day and night. So, you know, if for example I use the day cards, then I'd look at these keywords, and if I was using the night, so that the day is much more about, I see it as being like, you know, if you've come across things like the Seed and Sickle, where you've got the dawn and dusk, you've got something that's a little more about kind of where you can move, and this one's a little bit more about the struggle you're facing and how to deal with it. So you could have like the night one as more of a shadow deck, or for dealing with things that are you're trying to tackle that are a bit more challenging, and then the day one could be something else. And for each they've got some little words, so I'm not sure yet. It tells you the symbol for them as well. I'm not sure yet how these match up to playing card definitions either. I got a book in the autumn about sort of new, and I've recently got another numerology book because I'm really keen to see how these all match up. Now my only other criticism comes, and you can already see it here, if you look at the font they've used for the numbers. Unfortunately, although it's in keeping with the theme, I find that really hard. So on a list like that, you can see those numbers. But when I first got the deck out, I thought they were all muddled up and I couldn't work out which numbers were which. So that was a real shame. I think that unfortunately, those numbers to me, at quick glance, like that looks like a number 1, not a number 7. And that really doesn't look like a 6. As far as I'm concerned. Now obviously when they're in situ like that you can see, but it, you know, it wouldn't take much, and it's sort of confusing. The 6 and the 9 obviously are much more easily confused. There's a couple of pages for notes, and at the back it sort of says the guide of day and night. So this is great. I mean, it's a shame they seem to have spent a lot of time on this little bit with the animals at the front, which I need to sort of read a bit more about. I'm not sure how I'll use that, but I do like the fact that they've given you kind of 2 different meanings. So anyway, and really, you know, with playing cards, it's a different thing. You don't need lots of meanings really. These are the 2 little seal stickers that I don't know what I'm going to do with. You've got your day fairy and your night fairy, and at the at the moment I've got to decide what I'm going to do with them, if I'm going to stick them back on the boxes, but for the purposes of unboxing. Okay, so then we have our 2 decks, which I've now finally got into. So we have our day and our night fairy. Now I have to, or our starry night. Now interestingly, I have to say I was much more drawn to this one. I'm not sure what that says about me, but we are going to have a look and have a flip through. So as I say, you've got a sleeve. So here's your day fairy. So the day fairy has a much lighter look to it. They both have, no, they have a different picture. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a comparator actually, just so you can see. So they have a different picture on here. You've got like Cernunnos, different animals. Here you've got like the stag, and and the same again on the back. So the front and the back are basically the same. And then obviously you've got the one in the dark and the one in the light. Inside is beautifully done. They've made a real effort with these boxes to make sure they're beautiful all over. Once you get into them, the cards slide in and out very easily, as I keep showing by dropping them all over. So let's have a look at the Day Fairy. So these cards, obviously they're playing cards, so they're a playing card size. They're a really nice feel. I think they've got a sort of slightly linen-y effect to them, but they're very smooth, very shiny, very nice to hold. And then what you basically have is a series of, so you have 2 jokers and this wish card. And then you have the cards themselves. Now, another slight thing that I've noticed immediately is that because of the way they've printed the cards, you have the Jack, Queen and King have a black edge. That then means, as you can see here, it's really obvious that you've got these stripes. Now, once shuffled, I would imagine it becomes less obvious. But if you were using these as actual playing cards, I would imagine that you wouldn't want to have any noticeable difference between the cards. And even when you're using them, you know, when you're using them for divination, I always feel like I don't want anything that I can immediately tell what the cards are going to be. So in some ways, I mean, I might, you know, you could edge them, and it's kind of a shame that they haven't. What's interesting though is when you look at the night one, the night one actually is all one colour, and it's like a beautiful, it's this same teal green colour. So what's interesting is it feels like the Starry Night has a little bit more effort put in than the day. So if I hold the two of them together, so this one works brilliantly because it's all one colour and it's almost gilded, it's almost edged. I don't know if it's just the colour coming through from the cards themselves or if they have actually edged them. So it's a shame really, because you could easily have edged these ones as well, but never mind. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards. So hopefully I can hold them up here. Apologies for any wobbles. So here you've got Forest of Wish. It says here Cernunnos is listening. And it says rebirth at the top and the bottom, and it's got all these beautiful animals around, this tree, 2 little fairies. The backs of the cards, in this instance they have these stags and the birds, and they're actually different to the Starry Night. So the Starry Night has a much different back to it. So that's this kind of rebirth wish card. Then you have what's called the Cernunnos cat. Cernunnos, I can't say it this morning. And you've got a dark version and a light version of those as jokers. And then the cards themselves. So the Ace of Spades, so it has on it Tree of Life. So in fact it has keywords on it. And then they're very simple, but they have these lovely geometric patterns in them. I don't want to hover too long on these. When you then get to the so you've got the Jack of Spades, Freya Aren, Shaman Wolf. So each of these is kind of like leader stag, okay? And then you've got the hearts, so the Triskele, and then again you've got little keywords. So I need to, as I say, but you can see here what I was saying about the numbers. When you look at those numbers, they're fine in order, but I find that font really hard to read, particularly the 2 and the 5, the 6, the 7. It's a shame really. I think maybe it's just me. Gateway, home. I'm not going to spend hours on all these cards, but growth, power, beautiful feel to them. I really like holding them. Journey, protection. So these are very basic playing cards, but to pictures, which is lovely, but with a nice geometry and the keywords to each. So here you've got Martyr Horse, Loyalist Hound and Seer Hawk. So you've kind of got three animals there. And then we go into the clubs. So here you go, the symbol of the clubs is the shamrock. spring, summer, autumn. So this has got the seasons: winter, void, time, soul. So you could actually use these in different ways. So if you wanted, you could use them as a significator for a season, which is really lovely. You can kind of almost use some of the titles as significators with a tarot. You know, you can play around. So then you've got your fish, your butterfly, and your bull. And then we've got the Dara knot, which is the symbol, and this is nice. So these symbols associate with them creation, and you can see how they've used the symbol: order, reality, illusion, ego, interaction, knowledge, honor, change. So there. And then we've got swan, snake, and seahorse with a phrase there. So there could be lots of ways you can use it. They're going to make nice cards for just playing with. I'm not going to spend too long on each card, I don't think. I think this is my favourite set. I seem to be drawn far more to decks like this. So in this set we have, I'm just double checking because I thought we had, yes, there it is. I've got a card mixed. So here's your Starry Night. So as I say, you've got a different back on these ones, and this one says reveal your nature, reveal your faith on the back. I really feel like this one is the key one almost. So again, you've got this same Forest of Wish rebirth card, and you've got the two Caridians cats as jokers. I think they work much better on the dark background because you can really see all these beautiful pictures. And then you have, so here you've got the Tree of Life this time as your spade. And actually in these you've now got some other pictures. So here's your sun, and it's got the stag. You got your air, your moon's got a wolf. So actually with this set, they've actually got some other pictures in them, which is interesting. Fire, there's a cat there, wood, metal, there's a swan here. So I think that's really interesting that in this darker set, so you've got the same 3 animals there as the day. So now you've got the Triskele, which is the same as the other set, but again, you have these extra little pictures in them. So you've got a bull in home. I'm going to be intrigued to see some of these associations to see how it works. In wholeness, oh, there's a seahorse there. You have to get it at the right angle to see it. There we go. Journey, I'm just tilting these slightly so you can see the silver. Same 3 again. Same shamrock, spring. There you go again, you see. So that isn't in the other one. That's interesting. Autumn, winter, void. So you get the same. So what I have to do is a side by side so you can see the cards from each set. I think it might be interesting to do that. There's a butterfly in knowledge. I'm intrigued to see how they've got the animals associated. So, you know, I haven't spent hours on all those cards. They're playing cards after all, but it's interesting because if I get the 2 sets, so you've got the same starter cards here. With the different colours. Actually, they've got different animals. This one's got many more animals around it than this one. It's the same central, and it's the same phrase in the middle. Again, so you've got your cat, but some of the symbolism seems to be disappearing in this one. Like I say, yeah, so it's a very different background here. So yeah, so here's your first difference. So on this card, we've just got the sacred geometry, we've got this border, but with this one, you've got the stag. So it's interesting, then the background is very similar for some of them, and then for others. So here we go again, this one's got a moon in it, but this one's got the wolf, which obviously is often, especially in RWS, you see that associated. Again. So it's really interesting. The wood, it's exactly the same pattern, obviously based on the card. Whoops. So it's really interesting, the decisions that have been made, that some of the cards are, bar the colour scheme, identical. And then for some of the cards, I mean, even the backgrounds are the same on these, obviously within the colourway. So these, there's nothing really different in terms of symbolism on these cards. Although, stop a second, here, now here's another one. So this one, let me just go back to here then. Okay, so on the day you've got wren and then you've got raven, so I suppose if you could be doing reversals. Here you've got day and night, wren and raven, so you've got the same keywords just in different ways. Same here, you've got wolf or grey wolf, and in this case it's got the day and night included. Okay, so the same keywords are there, they're just in a different stage, and in sort of the silver and the colours do it differently here. So again, you've got similarities and differences. I'm not sure what decisions came up with the different cards. I'm just going to flick through, and again you're down to these ones. What's also interesting is that in this they've suddenly bring the red in here for the heart, and obviously in this one they've kept the same colourway. So yeah, so it's really interesting just to see some of these differences, to see some of the similarities. I'm not going to do all of them because then they are playing cards and it's going to get boring. So, a bit of mixed reaction, I suppose. I have to say that overall, I really love these sets. I really like the idea of the two. I think they're going to work really nicely in conjunction with some of the tarot decks I've got. Because of the symbolism. I think it'll be interesting to see how the symbolism matches up with playing cards and that sort of thing. There are a couple of, I suppose you could say, production things that I would do differently, but you know, it's obviously it's not mine. I think a lot of thought and effort has gone into the boxes, into the stickers. It's really beautiful. It was one of the things that drew me because it wasn't just a playing card set, it had a lot more to it. So overall, I'm kind of really pleased with what I've got, and I'm really looking forward to deep diving more into them. I hope you like what you've seen, and it's something a little bit different. I've got a few more videos that I want to record coming up, so I shall see you again soon. Do leave comments and let me know what you think. Oh, and I'll put a link to the original Kickstarter campaign. What I don't know is if they're going to be selling them. I will double check and I will put some links in on the video below. But anyway, take care everyone, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.